certainly in the Cleveland series. Or in the Cleveland games. James throws it up, ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Morris.
What an outstanding play.
Oh, and Nance pushes Morris. Morris goes back. They have to be separated. The play had kind of stopped. Morris started to walk away. After knocking down Nance, he said something to him. Nance waited a bit, then when he got up, shoved him from behind. Morris exhorting the crowd. Morris initiated it verbally, but Nance is the one that started the physical part.
Well, he stood over him and said something,
right,
which I don't know if they're going to get him for a technical for taunting.
To me, it should be a double tap.
That's what they'll probably do.
Over into taunting, and then the reaction by Nance.
I think you're right, Mark. They got quickly separated as Morris went back at Nance. Eddie Malloy, Kenny Maurer, Jason Phillips are the officials here tonight. And we, of course, have Steve Javie back in the studio. Steve, I know you just had a chance to watch the replay. How do you handle this situation?
Well, it looks obvious that Morris does say something to Nance. Now, whether the official catches that or not, we don't know. But Nance coming up is going to get a technical foul, no doubt, for the shove. And then Rozier coming in from the backside, shoving Nance, definitely will get a technical foul. Now, it all just depends if the official heard the taunt, because obviously something precipitated Nance reacting the way he did.
Now, we're watching the replay there as Morris is yelling. Kenny Maurer, who is the baseline official right there, he turned to catch the ball back, so he didn't see it, so they may have missed that.
But my question would be, even if they didn't see it, they're going over there reviewing it right now. They should be able to recognize what took place.
Well, in my opinion, Mike, if I went over the replay and saw a reaction like this, obviously something was said, and I would penalize the guy, Morris, for doing that.
In a playoff game, Steve, when you have, again, all the emotions, and taunting is supposed to be called a technical, what's your barometer in terms of when to call it and when to let them express their emotions a little bit?
Well, when you look directly at a player like Morris just did, or you go up into a player's space, that's a little too much. If you're expressing something running down the floor, looking away from the player, that's another thing. But when you go right up at the player or stare down at the player, that's where you have to draw the line.
All right, Steve Javie, thank you, as always. As Kenny Maurer has finished looking at it.
You know, Mike, but the more I think about it, Morris standing over Nance saying something should not be the same penalty as Nance bum rushing Morris. So even though I say a double technical, that was flagrant the way he went after him.
Well, it's a technical on a dead ball like that. That's usually the way they call it. I agree with you in terms of the shove. There's certainly more. But you can also say that Morris is the one that initiated with the verbal taunt. Let's take one more look as they continue to discuss this.
First of all, it's a heck of a defensive play by Morris.
And Morris going back with a little forearm shove as well. Now remember, Morris did that in that game here with Tristan Thompson when he yelled in his face. They didn't call a technical on that one.
And if he's fortunate enough to still be in this ball game, which he should be, I think it's important for him to understand you've done your job, now be smart.
And this was in game 2. Looks better in slow motion, doesn't it?
We need those lip readers.
Especially ones that can do it from the side.
From the royal wedding to tell us what was said.
Now clearly Morris said it, but Nance an overreaction. Morris then going right back at him. It's a tough decision now. Kenny Maurer back again, talking to them in Bristol, and I think they've made their decision. They're also, what they do, they look at the time on the clock to make sure that's all set. Meanwhile, Boston, they don't want anything to change right now the way they're playing to begin this game. A 17-point lead. Just over a minute gone by here in the second. Kenny Mara is going to come over and tell us. Korver takes the technical because what happened, they call a double technical on Morris and on Nance. Morris for the taunt, Nance for the shove, but then Terry Rozier came in and also shoved one of the Cavaliers, so he was hit with a technical. That's why the Cavs shot the technical free throw. The other two offset each other.